How's it going, everybody? So today on the channel we're talking about Skyward Sword for the Nintendo Wii, because the other day, February 17th of 2021, depending on when you're watching this, we had a full-on Nintendo Direct. Finally, after 531 days, we finally have had a Nintendo Direct come and go, and you know what? It was pretty awesome. I think it was anyway. And one of the big announcements was Skyward Sword HD coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Now, that was my favorite announcement out of that whole video, but it got me thinking, you know what? I'm going to boot up my Nintendo Wii U. I'm going to hook it up to the Elgato, and I'm going to capture some footage of where I left off on the Skyward Sword version for the Nintendo Wii. Now, this is honestly playing on the Nintendo Wii U has been the best place to play Skyward Sword because, you know, it has HDMI capabilities. You can plug it into an HDMI monitor or a TV, and this is the best visuals you're going to get out of this game, the old version. So with this new announcement of the HD remaster coming out to Nintendo Switch, I'm really excited because, you know, to be completely honest with you guys, I started up this game again on the Nintendo Wii, hooked it up to Elgato like I was saying, and I started where I left off, and I barely scratched the surface of this game. I mean, I'm literally going into the first level right now. As you can see on the screen, that is the very first level when you head down on the ground from Skyloft. And yeah, I started thinking about it. I'm like, why didn't I really get into this game? Because I love the Legend of Zelda series. It is one of my favorite series of all time. I have completed a lot of the Legend of Zelda games: Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, the very first one on NES, A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, Majora's Mask. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Ocarina of Time. I've completed a lot of them, you know, not just on the main consoles, but on the handhelds as well. Phantom Hourglass. I love this series. I really, really do. And everything about the Legend of Zelda series just engulfs me. And I love the story, and I love the music, and it's always just really fun. It's just adventurous. These games are really adventurous. But I never got into this game. You know, maybe it was because, you know, the graphics at this time when it came out in 2011, at the end of 2011, and this is kind of at the end of the Wii's life. You know, we were looking at better games and playing better games on the PS3 and the 360, and, you know, they had some really heavy hitters around this time. So my focus was around those consoles where, you know, I never even went down and got this game on day one. I would have if it was at any other time. You know, I got Twilight Princess on day one, Wind Waker, you name it. Even A Link to the Past when I was a young kid. I had my parents take me down to KB Toys, and we got A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo day one it came out. So I've been a fan for a long time. You know, when I saw this game in previews and on in game magazines, because that's how we had to check it out back then, you know, I just wasn't really all that interested in it. It wasn't high definition, didn't really look all that great for its time. And there was motion controls attached to it, and they really heavily focused on more motion controls. I mean, with the Wii Motion Plus, it was interesting. It's interesting, definitely, to control Link this way. But using a nunchuck and the Wiimote, it's just kind of, I don't know, I just wasn't going to get into it. So, you know, after booting this game up again and playing on the Nintendo Wii, like I said, this is the best way you're going to see it visually, you know, and because the Nintendo Wii U is backwards compatible with all Wii games, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, so, you know, this is the best way you're going to see it visually, is on the Nintendo Wii U, but it's still locked in with these motion controls, and, you know, it just kind of takes me out of the experience a little bit. You know, like right here when you first come up to like your first you know, enemy, you have to swing your sword a certain way, and it's, you know, that was the whole Motion Plus thing, was you had to swing it vertically or horizontally or at an angle in order to defeat enemies. So I'm really happy that they're going to go away from it, even though there's still going to be that option to have motion controls in the HD remaster version, but you can also use traditional thumbstick controls. And that to me is exciting. Not only the visuals are going to look better, because I think this game can look really, really beautiful, and I think it will look amazing. You know, the edges are going to be smoothed out. You know, the distance draw is going to look way, way better, and it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited actually to play this game on the Nintendo Switch, and this time I will pick it up on day one. You know, the one thing that I have to say real quick that I keep seeing on like Twitter and social media is that a lot of people are worried that it's going to be a straight port, and I don't believe Nintendo's going to do that to this game. I think this game deserves a resurgence of life, and I think that it coming out on the Nintendo Switch, we will see that. We saw it with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, them adding in that extra care and that extra love. The game plays way better than the Wii U version. The Super Mario 3D World plays way better than the Wii U version. It really does. It mechanically, visually, it just looks and plays so much better. And I think Nintendo is going to do that same justice that we saw with that game with Skyward Sword. And there are also rumors that we're going to get the Wind Waker HD and also Twilight Princess HD coming out for the Nintendo Switch, hopefully in some sort of compilation. And it'd be really cool to see the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time get that HD polish, you know, give it that flair, you know, for this modern time, to make it look really nice, because that is an amazing game. If you've never played the Ocarina of Time, I highly recommend playing it on the 3DS. Great version. Even if you don't play it in 3D, it's fine. But the 3D is kind of cool. I don't know, it's gimmicky, but it's cool. But definitely check it out if you haven't checked out Ocarina of Time, or even when Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, which you can purchase right now for the Nintendo Wii. I do have those games, but however, I will be double dipping on if there's some sort of compilation for the 35th anniversary. But I want to hear from you guys now. I want to know if you guys have played Skyward Sword on the Nintendo Wii or the Wii U. And if you liked it, and you know, if you guys are planning on picking up Skyward Sword HD for the Nintendo Switch, I think it's definitely going to be a really good experience and a much better experience on the Nintendo Switch. And it's about time we get this HD version. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button with bell notifications turned on. That way you can get notified when I post another video like this. And I will be doing a side-by-side comparison when Skyward Sword HD launches on the Nintendo Switch. We'll be a side-by-side of obviously the Wii version up against the Switch version, so we can compare the two. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.